Okay, so we will start now. So hello everyone, my name is Shubham Joshi and I am a fellow student of RCOEM. I am very glad to announce that GDSC is here with yet another interesting event, that is Flutter Festival. Well, I am specifically excited and glad about this event because Flutter is a very promising technology and I'm sure that it will help excessive demand in near future. So what is Flutter Festival? Well, Flutter Festival is a community-led event where developers can join to learn the fundamentals of Google technologies like Flutter, Firebase, and Google Cloud. Uh, and in this here in this forthcoming events, we are going to focus on Flutter. So, but before diving in what Flutter Festival is, or rather what Flutter is, let me introduce myself to you once again. So hello, my name is Shubham Joshi and I will be your facilitator for this event. I am currently studying in third year CSE department, and my journey with Flutter started pretty early when I was in first year itself. So basically, I had zero knowledge in coding that time. So from that, you can guess how easy learning Flutter must be. Sorry, have I started my video yet? No, no. I will just start my video. Yeah, it's fine now. Yeah. So hello, my name is Shubham Joshi, and as I said that my journey with Flutter started pretty early when I was in first year itself, and so that time I had absolutely no knowledge of coding. So that's the proof that how Flutter can be easy, and I will try my best to make it more interesting for you as well. So earlier, I had worked with a startup as a Flutter developer, and I built two Flutter projects integrated with Firebase. And that's how my journey with Flutter as an intern started. Okay, now I would like to introduce one more member of the panel. Is he present? Hevesh Lakwan. Yeah. So I and Hevesh will be your facilitators throughout this event, and we both started as an intern in this company, that is UFF, as a Flutter developer. So later, I also developed some projects of my own. I built a game. You all must be remembering that game, right? That snake game that we used to play on Nokia phone as in childhood. Please, can you write in the chat box how many of you have played? Yes, just one. That's surprising. Okay. Well, as a child, I loved that game. I used to love that game. So I thought, why not build that of my own for an Android device or for a web device? And guys, this is what I love about Flutter. I built this with just one code base. Well, isn't it cool? But that's the power of Flutter. We can build an application for multiple platforms with just one code base. And that's how my journey with Flutter progressed and my love towards it increased. I have made many similar projects, like I built online portal for filing discrepancies to the NMCs. Okay, so and okay, that's I love doing this. Okay, I love building applications. Well, next about the Flutter Festival. So we are going to conduct sessions which will take you through basics of Flutter, and that will be enough for you to get started with start with building applications. Okay, so next we will also provide you with online labs which will test your knowledge and will give you hands-on. Next, we will give you a basic overview on Firebase and explain you what things we can do with it. And finally, we will give you a small task to perform that will boost your confidence in Flutter. Now, this event will be going on throughout the month of Feb till 31st of March. And the details of the schedule will be shared with you all later. And till 31st, not 31st March, maybe deadline we will set maybe around 25th of March. And till then, you will have to submit a small task that we will give to you. Okay. Then now, without wasting any time, let's dive in and see what Flutter actually is. Okay, so this is what we tell about Flutter. It is Google's portable UI toolkit for building beautiful multi-platform applications. Now, what's the idea behind multi-platform? So initially when Flutter was launched, we had it for mobiles. Then we have it for web, we have it for desktop, then we have it for Windows, for Mac, for Linux, and all these on a single code base. So that's the idea behind it. Next. Okay, and one more thing, now it's not just like it lets us build only multi-platform application, but it also has many offerings that I would like to tell you about in further discussions. Now, I also want to tell you how Flutter came in. So Flutter was developed by Flutter was developed by 3 engineers at Google. So they were building an web application and wanted to have it for mobile as well, which would have similar experience that of native applications. So they tried different things, they tried different frameworks, different languages like JavaScript, but it didn't work out. So they used Dart, which also is a language developed by Google. And that's how now we have what we call as Flutter. Now to discuss what was the case before that. So when developers wanted to develop cross-platform applications, what they used to do was they used to develop apps using different technologies for each different platforms, which is not wrong actually, which is the right thing to do, because doing so makes your application stronger, it makes it faster, it makes it reliable. As everything you do is in native languages, so that is always the best practice. But at the same time, it is also very costly, because then you will have to have different teams for each different platform. You will have to learn different technologies whenever you want to switch from one platform to another. Like for if you are developing an application for Android, you will have to learn Java, you will have to learn Kotlin, you will have to learn Android Studio, and if you want to switch that platform from Android to iOS, then you will have to learn Swift. So the another thing we could do was use a framework which was already available that time, like PhoneGap, and build a web application. And they tried to fix it in the size of your screen. So they tried to fix, if you are using a laptop, they tried to fix it on a laptop screen. Then if you are using a mobile phone, they will try to fix it on a mobile phone, which is also good. It is good, but they didn't have the experience similar to your native applications. They were simply web apps and not the native applications. So that's why something like Flutter was needed, where you wouldn't need to learn different technologies, and you would have different technologies and you would have native like experience. So Flutter is offering you to build high quality native apps without too much cost with a single code base. Next, now currently Flutter supports for iOS, for Android, for web, desktop, for Windows, Mac, for Linux, and also for embedded systems. And all this with a single code base. And of course, there are some limitations, like if you write a code for Android device, it is not necessary that it will work on web as it is. You definitely will have to make some adjustment in the code, or maybe add some services. But the thing is that you won't have to switch from one technology to another. You still be working on Flutter, you still will be using Dart as your programming languages, and you will still be writing a single code with just some adjustment for different platform that you want to deploy your application on. Okay. Now Flutter is able to do all this because of its layered architecture. So you see, Flutter is itself like an engine as the base, and over it we have the framework part, where all the widgets are present, like you have for animation, you have for gestures, you have renderings. So the framework part is above the foundation part, that is your Flutter framework. And and the thing is, whenever you want to change anything uh, in your project, you don't have to rewrite or change the whole project itself. You just have to go to the layer in which you have to change, and you can just make changes and rebuild that particular layer, which will not affect the whole application. So this is fast, and this is why Flutter can provide you such efficient way to deploy your application on different platforms. And next is that in Flutter, everything is a widget. So this animation, paintings, gestures, all this is a widget, and all these widgets are written in Dart itself. So that's the same language you are going to use for development as well. Next, okay. Now, when we talk about Flutter, these are its 5 fundamental pillars. That Flutter is fast, Flutter is productive, it's beautiful, it's open, and it's portable. Now, I am going to talk about all these 5 pillars in detail. Yeah, so Flutters allow you to make real fast applications because it converts your Flutter code into native code. So it allows you to use full capabilities of your device. Yeah, basically, when you are developing an Flutter code, Flutter at the backend converts it into the native code. So when you are using an Android device, so it's similar to, so the Flutter app is similar to what we see as of an Android device. So that's make it more possible for Flutter to use all the capabilities of your device, and we can use your device at its full potential. That's make it fast. So as you can see on the screen, we have that animation, then over it we have text, we have buttons, we have that small logo, and all of it is stacked over each another. So which is high computation, but Flutter makes it fast. Okay, now those who know Android development must know the struggle of restarting the application after every little change. So, uh, right. So whenever you make a change in while during an Android development, you have to rebuild your application to see the changes on your devices, the screen of your devices. But so Flutter provides us with a very cool feature, and ironically, that's hot reload. So whenever you make changes into the code, you need not start the whole application, but you just have to save the code and click that hot reload button, and you can see the changes on your device instantly. So this gives an opportunity to experiment with your project. This gives what we can say a boost to your innovation, as whatever you do, you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait for to rebuild the application to see the changes. You dynamically change the code and you see the changes on your device in the real time, which is highly productive. And that's why uh, we can say that Flutter boosts your innovation. Okay. Now Flutter allows you to build native applications with ready to use widgets that gives you a perfect native experience, but which is also very beautiful. Okay, but if you want to build custom applications of your own, so you are free to do so. You can design whatever you want to and build it easily with Flutter. There are no restrictions. So finally, Flutter is an open source. That is, anyone outside Flutter can contribute to Flutter libraries. For example, suppose someone needed a feature that feature is not present in current Flutter libraries. So what he can do is build that feature and add it to the Flutter libraries. so that someone else who wants that feature in future can use it directly by importing those libraries in his project. And at the same time, if that person thinks like suppose he thinks like this feature needs to be added in this library, so he can do that easily as well. There is no restrictions at all. And this collaborative culture is the reason that Flutter is growing so fast in such a short time. Actually, that's because Flutter is open. Yeah, so I think that's all about Flutter that I can say to you right now. And one more thing, that a lot of people have confusion that why should I go with Flutter when why should I go with Flutter when there are already many other technologies available? Well, honestly, Flutter is just a tool that we use to develop projects, and tools tend to upgrade, and new tools eventually do replace the old tools. So, of course, new technologies are supposed to enter into the market, but yeah, sorry, yeah. So, but yeah, I personally think that Flutter is the best we have got today, and honestly, about tomorrow, I don't know, but I guess that's the tech world. Fine. Now, these are the labs that I mentioned before. So, we will be sharing you links to these labs after our first session. We will tell you the dates of our first session shortly in your in your WhatsApp groups. So, these are the labs that we will provide you after that sessions: Dart Essentials, Flutter Essentials, and Flutter Development. And if I don't know exactly what crowd is here, so if you guys are already familiar with Flutter and you want to do practice in it, so we will also provide you these Dart pad workshops, so you can directly contact me on your groups, or you can contact me on WhatsApp, personal WhatsApp. I will be happy to provide you these workshops. Okay. So I guess that's all about from my side. If you guys have any doubts up till now throughout the session, you are free to ask. You can obviously type in chat, or you can unmute yourselves. Are there any questions? Maybe some of you have joined late, so you missed some part.
Yes, Bhaiya. Can you repeat again? I
Uh,
joined now.
okay, so basically, okay, let me 1 minute.
भैया
Yeah,
जैसे आपने कहा स्टार्टिंग में आपको कुछ मतलब कोडिंग नॉलेज कुछ बेसिक आपके पास था ही नहीं,
yes, right.
आपने फ्लटर स्टार्ट किया तो आपने कहाँ से स्टार्ट किया वो?
ओके, सो ऐसा था कि मैं जब फर्स्ट ईयर में था तो कॉलेज में इंटर्नशिप्स थ्रू टीबीआई आए थे, एंड दैट्स हाउ आई गॉट फैमिलियर विथ फ्लटर, और आई फर्स्ट हर्ड अबाउट फ्लटर, दैट्स हाउ. एंड देन like the internship was all about development of an application in Flutter. So मैंने कुछ courses किए Udemy से, और थोड़ा थोड़ा करके थोड़ा मैं समझते गया, और उसी में ऑब्जेक्ट ओरिएंटेड प्रोग्रामिंग से भी मुझे थोड़ा उसका नॉलेज बढ़ा, ऑब्जेक्ट ओरिएंटेड प्रोग्रामिंग का. एंड देन इट्स प्रीटी इजी व्हेन यू स्टार्ट वर्किंग ऑन इट, things get easier, and that's how I will be teaching you as well. We are not going to just theory part, we will be doing hands on project. So तुम लोगों को एक आइडिया आ जाएगा कि फ्लटर होता क्या है, वो तो आइडिया आ चुका है ऑफ कोर्स, फ्लटर को यूज कैसे करना है वो एक आइडिया आ जाएगा, ताकि तुम एक अच्छा एंड्रॉयड ऐप बना सकोगे. सो डोंट यू वरी, आई विल गिव अ वेरी बेसिक.
फ्लटर का बेस क्या होता है?
सॉरी,
मतलब कोई बेसिक बेसिक होता होगा ना जिसके ऊपर फ्लटर रन होता है?
फ्लटर रन्स यूजिंग डार्ट लैंग्वेज. सो फ्लटर में डार्ट लैंग्वेज ही यूज होती है, वो भी मैं तुमको
डार्ट
सिखाऊंगा.
लैंग्वेज, ओके.
Yeah, Flutter is basically a framework that is written in Dart, and we are also going to use Dart as its coding language. तो ये सब तुम्हारे जो डाउट्स है ना वो तुम्हारे फर्स्ट सेशन में बिल्कुल क्लियर हो जाएंगे जब अपन खुद कोड करेंगे। और एक और चीज़ मैं तुमको बता देता हूँ कि तुम चाहे कोई भी टेक्नोलॉजी सीखो, तुम सिर्फ उसको यूट्यूब करते जाओगे और सिर्फ वो वीडियोस देखते जाओगे या फिर सेशंस अटेंड करते जाओगे, this is not going to help you guys. You will have to practice it, and that's how you are going to build your logic, you are going to build skills. So तुम सिर्फ वीडियो लेक्चर्स या सेशंस अटेंड करके नहीं होगा, तुमको खुद प्रैक्टिस करनी होगी। और इसका बेस ऐसे सेशंस तुमको दे सकता है, जैसे ये एक इवेंट जीडीएससी ने ऑर्गेनाइज किया है ताकि तुमको एक बेस मिल जाए, तुमको फ्लटर इंट्रोड्यूस हो जाए और तुम उसको समझ पाओ, और फिर वो तुम्हारे ऊपर है कि do you want to continue with Flutter or do you want to try something else. So you will
Okay,
have to
thank
practice
you.
it. Yeah, so I will once again tell you guys about what Flutter festival is. So in this event, throughout the country, GDSC clubs are organizing events which will encourage students to learn Flutter, and actually any Google technology, that is Flutter, Firebase and Google Cloud. But in this college, in this chapter, we are specifically focusing on Flutter. So हमारे कॉलेज में हम लोग पहले लेट मी या तो हमारे कॉलेज में हम सेशंस रखेंगे पहले, जो तुमको डार्ट और फ्लटर के बारे में बताएंगे। देन वी विल प्रोवाइड यू लैब्स, तो उस पर तुम अच्छे से प्रैक्टिस कर सकोगे और वहाँ पे तुमको चीज़ें और थोड़ी अच्छे से क्लियर होंगी अगर तुमने सेशन में कुछ मिस कर दिया हो तो। और आखिरी में देन वी विल गिव यू अ स्मॉल टास्क दैट यू विल हैव टू परफॉर्म एंड सेंड इट टू अस। वी विल गिव यू द वे यू विल अपलोड योर टास्क, और ये इसकी डेडलाइन अराउंड 25th ऑफ मार्च रहेगी। दिस इज येट टू बी डिसाइडेड, वी विल कन्वे यू थ्रू योर व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप्स। तो तुमको एक छोटा सा टास्क रहेगा, इजी से टास्क रहेगा, बट तुमको एक अच्छा उससे कॉन्फिडेंस आ जाएगा कि फ्लटर तुमको आता है। ओके, सो जिन्होंने लेट ज्वाइन किया था उनके लिए था ये। आर देयर एनी अदर क्वेश्चंस भैया? इसके लिए कोई प्री रिक्विजिट्स? Prerequisites is you should have something, well, even if you don't have any knowledge it's fine, but अगर तुमको थोड़ा बहुत ऑब्जेक्ट ओरिएंटेड प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज आता है, तुमको थोड़ा बहुत सी लैंग्वेज आता है या कोई भी लैंग्वेज आता है, तो it's a plus point, but there is no as such need of any prerequisites. When and what type of task? I think I have already answered this question, Sarvesh. When and which type of task we have to do. Then will it be from scratch? Yes, we will try to have it from scratch, of course. How many sessions will be there? How many sessions will be there? We are currently thinking of only one session in which we will be covering Dart and Flutter, but if it is required, we will extend it to more than one, maybe two. But that would be enough because we are going to provide you labs which are self-explanatory, and those itself are of 1.5 hour per lab. So we are going to provide you 2 quests, and in each quest there are 4 labs. So that would be enough for your practice. When will session start? This will be conveyed to you in your WhatsApp groups. Any other questions? Certificate, yeah, you will get certificates, and we will we will give you some swags to top submission that we get. We will give swags to only top submissions. And lucky, you don't worry about certifications that much, because when you are going to put a project of Flutter in your resume, that is better than to have just a certificate in your resume. So when you sit in placements and you tell that I have done this project in using this technology, that gives you a better impression than just you have a certificate, because Udemy से कोई भी सर्टिफिकेट इजीली मिल जाता है. सो जो हायर करते हैं तुमको उनको पता होता है सबके ट्रिक्स. तो डोंट यू फोकस ऑन सर्टिफिकेशन बट रादर ट्राई टू बिल्ड योर स्किल्स बेटर.
हेलो.
या
हाँ, भैया एक्चुअली वो उसमें जैसे दिया हुआ है कि चैलेंजेस, सॉल्विंग चैलेंजेस, एंड वी हैव सीन द 17 challenges to work on them. So when at what time, or after 1 year, after 2 year, we are working, we will working on it.
on what challenges are you talking about?
That when we have registered for GDSC,
Okay.
CA.
Okay, can you elaborate? Actually, I am not aware about it. I didn't create the event. That was created by my lead. So if you elaborate
Okay.
a little.
Actually, they had sent on this group only that GD, Google Development Solution Challenges.
Okay, you are talking about solution challenge. This is not solution challenge. This is Flutter Festival. Solution
Okay,
challenge
okay,
is different, in which it is an competition organized by Google, where you have to develop a model where working on those 17 sustainable goals. Like on the site, it is visible that. Uh, yeah, on the site it is visible that you have to work on 17 goals, and you have to work in a team, or maybe you can work in individual, and you have to submit an working model
Wh-
based on those 17 sustainable goals.
uh,
And
um,
deadline,
what a,
I think deadline is up to 31st March, I guess.
okay. Working model means what? A presentation, a plan, or a what? Or a
uh,
project, or what?
you will have to develop an application using Google technologies only.
Oh,
Yeah. In which
thank you.
year you are?
First year.
Okay, okay. So if you know some of the Google technologies, so Google technologies are Android, Flutter, Firebase, Google Cloud. So if you are familiar with all these technologies or some of these technologies, you can definitely go for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had a question. What is better for app development, Flutter or JavaScript?
JavaScript. JavaScript is basically used for web development. Flutter can be used for, look, what Flutter is, you cannot build very complicated web applications directly using Flutter. So web part is not that better than when you use JavaScript. So JavaScript is definitely better when you are only focusing on web applications. So then I will tell you that go for JavaScript. But when your focus is on uh, having an application that would be used on different platforms, then Flutter is the best choice for you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Uh, any other questions? Flutter is primarily for apps that you want on both platform, Android and iOS. Yes, that's true. That's true. When actually initially they only launch it for Android and iOS, and then in further steps they uh, like they supported Windows, Mac, Linux. Any other questions? You can directly unmute or you can type in chat as well. And one more thing, I hope everyone has filled that Google form that I have shared on your groups. That it is very important to keep track who have joined and who have attended the sessions. And from next time onwards, we will be sharing a Google form link in the chat description itself. Are there any other questions? So I guess,
Are there any real world apps on Flutter?
sorry,
Are there any real world examples for Flutter? Like कोई Play Store पे है अभी?
अलीबाबा जो ऐप है वो बहुत पहले फ्लटर पे बना था, तो मतलब जब फ्लटर की स्टार्टिंग थी, जब सिर्फ iOS और एंड्रॉयड के लिए आया था, तभी अलीबाबा फ्लटर पे बन गया था। और तुमको जीरोडा पता है क्या? वो भी एक एप्लीकेशन है जो प्ले स्टोर पे भी है, वो भी फ्लटर पे बेस्ड है।
पर भैया जीरोदा तो इन्वेस्टिंग का भी है ना?
हाँ हाँ, जीरोडा ही इन्वेस्टिंग का ही है, जो काइट एप्लीकेशन है उसका। इट इज़ बेसिकली बेस्ड ऑन फ्लटर। Yeah, Hevesh wrote in the chat that Google Play is also built on Flutter. So you were trying to find applications on Google Play which were based on Flutter, but Google Play itself is built on Flutter. Okay, Google Pay. My bad. It's Google Pay. So Vedant Tiwari is asking, will it be offline? It would be offline. It will be on totally online, and it will be of a convenient time to everybody. So maybe we can ask you all when you all can be present in the meeting, and then we'll fix a common time. When this Flutter festival will start? It already has started. It was started from 14 Feb, and this is our first session. So from now, this will be considered as the official starting of Flutter Festival GDSC RCOEM. Next events will be conveyed to you in your WhatsApp groups. So I think I have answered to everyone's question, and if there are not any further question, then we can stop here. I will just check if it has recorded properly. Yeah, recording is going on, so I think it has recorded. How many days will this festival last? This will last up to 31st of March. Up till then, you will have to submit a small task. Can you send the code lab link? No, I will not be sharing the code lab links before the session. This has to be done in a particular manner, because we have to register these events on the GDSC platform as well. So we will do the session first, then I will share the links to you. And as I said, feel to message me on my WhatsApp if you want. Of course, this also after the session, if you want the links for this Dartpad workshops. Okay, so I will just stop the recording now.